This is Nick the Quick. It's a tremendous time of year, World Series. And of all the people that I have with me, Jeff Frazier, a man who's done it all. He's been involved with pro baseball, Rutgers, and Tom's River South, where we're shooting this show. And I'm going to let Jeff lead in about how the Fraziers, because his dad, I played against his dad. He was a basketball player, and I think your mom was a sportswoman too, right?
Yeah, she played softball, and she swam at Trenton State.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got a couple records there for swimming.
Really?
Uh-huh. Still holds the butterfly record there. So the genes run in the family.
All right, give us the buildup of the Frazier, how it all came about for three guys.
It all came about. We're just competitive family. There wasn't a day that went by when we weren't fighting in the backyard over if it was a ball or strike call when we were playing wiffle ball, or playing basketball in the backyard if he traveled or got fouled. There was always some sort of battle, but it made us the competitors that we grew up to be.
Now, was Charlie always good at baseball? He was a real good basketball player, and so were you. Well, I thought Charlie's sport was going to be basketball, but then how did he wind up with baseball?
Yeah, we all thought it was going to be basketball. When he was in high school, he was probably one of the better players in the Shore, easily.
Yeah, he made all Shore. I mean, he was good.
And then his junior year came out, and they were looking at somebody, on the other team. I believe Jam Gold was pitching at the time in a game. When he went, he was a first-round pick, and Charlie, believe it or not, went 3 for 4, and he hit it like a triple. And in the triple, they timed him from home to third, and it was some astronomically quick run from first to third. Like the scouts couldn't believe it. And all of a sudden, they followed him the following year. We had a good year, and his speed kind of took over, and his bat did. And they said, "We're going to take you right out of the gate," because that's what baseball is. Baseball is there's some players that are just that quick that they draft you just for your speed.
Now, but then Charlie goes to Rutgers. Didn't they draft him out of Rutgers?
Charlie got a scholarship to Rutgers. Was about to go to Rutgers, and then the MLB called and offered him enough money, so he opted not to go to Rutgers and went straight to the Florida Marlins.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
But your dad insisted you guys get college degrees, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. He had to finish his school. It was in his contract for the Marlins that they have to pay for the rest of his school when he gets that done. When I did that, I actually went to Rutgers, left early my junior year, where in my contract with the Detroit Tigers, they made me, or my dad made them pay for the rest of my school when I finished. And the same with Todd.
Yeah, well, you guys, you had an in with my daughter, Tanya. I told her if you guys fail, she's going to get out of the house in them days.
Hey, I wish I could have taken her for every subject.
You would have been the dean list. So then what was
They would have thought I would have been a doctor or something.
What was Todd's role? Now, how did he get to where he is?
Todd, he followed our lead, and he'll tell you that too. He always wanted to beat us. He watched us playing growing up. He learned from us, especially the little things. And you can see now that he's starting to make himself a better player just by the way he runs the bases. He takes that extra base. He knows not to get picked off. He's in a situation last night. It was a short, shallow pop up to right center. He ended up sacrifice flying, and, he scored a big run in this situation. So little things like that, just watching the game when you're younger and just picking up on how to take that extra bag and get that extra base, it's huge. It's the little things.
All right, so then he was first. Charlie was Marlins. You were Detroit. Give me, because Todd's had a road through the pros now. I mean, who was he drafted by first?
Todd was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds.
And then how many years was he there?
He was there, I believe 6 years.
6?
I believe so. And then won the home run derby with them. We thought he was going to stay with the Reds, and then traded, to the Chicago White Sox. And then, had fun there for a little bit. And next thing you know, he's a New York Yankee, and that's Todd for you. Everything just falls in his lap, which is good, which is awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
And now he's in a playoff run, trying to get a World Series ring. So it's just, all that kind of stuff. And it's awesome.
When Charlie was with the Marlins, they won, right? Did he get anything out of that?
He was still in the minor league, so
he was?
Unless you had major league time, you really don't get anything for it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, they wanted the 1 year he was there, which is you say it's unfortunate, but it's not, because then you got a good major league team up there, so it's going to take that extra special stuff to happen for you to move up. I always tell everybody, like, Derek Jeter is the best shortstop in the world. Yeah, he was. Imagine being in the minor league shortstop underneath him with the Yankees in 20 years. It's hard to move up if you got a guy like Derek Jeter ahead of you. So, So it's good.
Okay, so now here's where we are. We'll go over where we're at. Boston gets eliminated by the Astros. Am I right, men?
Yep.
Anytime, don't be afraid.
Houston Astros, you're good. Yep.
Okay, so now let's go where the Yankees are. Let's see where Todd's Yankees are. One game to win it. How's that going?
One game to win. It's a win or lose. They went to Cleveland. Cleveland took the first two. They just came back to New York Monday, Tuesday. I was actually at both games. Yankees took both. Now you got the rubber match. It's a winner's take all. You win, you're in. You lose, you come right back to New Jersey, Todd. So let's go.
So let me ask you a question now, because like basketball's a little different. The teamness really means, the psych before the game. You got to get off to a strong start. But in baseball, it's really one man against nine. I don't always look at it as a team game. I look at it as batting is individual. And that's really tough. It's tough batting against nine guys. So how do you feel in baseball? You got to get off to a strong start.
Oh, absolutely, especially being a hitter. They look at your average. They look at your power numbers. They look to see if you're producing. And when you say it's an individual sport, absolutely. When it comes to that aspect of the game, absolutely. Because if you're not producing, you're out of the lineup. In basketball, you could run a play where you might miss a screen or do something, and all of a sudden the play could still end up being special. You're up at the plate. You got 2 strikes on you. Swing and miss. Guess what? You're out.
Head back, right?
See you later.
Head back humbly.
Nobody's there to pick you up.
And you go back humbly.
Yeah. You try not to break any coolers. In
the dugout, nobody looks at you.
And then you got the whole stadium saying you stink, and you're just trying to keep your cool as best you can.
I like this, Jeff, because it is true. Fans don't understand what it is, because when you play a sport like basketball, really, there's so many things you can do. You could pass, you could rebound. Really, truthfully, but baseball, like the team could win 6-0. You go 0 for 4. I don't think you're too happy.
No, not at all. You're not going home happy. I always tell everybody, I said, listen, you get a couple hits, you're going to go home and dinner's going to taste real good. You go 0 for 4, you have a couple strikeouts, you don't want to eat. It's like
right.
It's the end of the world. But that's why it's crazy. And when you say, it's a team sport, it is a team sport, but there's that individual aspect that if you don't do what you're doing, you're out, because it's all on you and everybody can see it.
I always call it a game of moments. Like, people will say it's boring. It's a game of things happen all of a sudden, boom, and it's fantastic. You're watching, and somebody makes some unbelievable catch, or they rocket a ball out of the stadium, And those moments are fantastic.
That's what they say. They, live for the moment in baseball, especially Monday night. Monday night I was at the game. It's a 0-0 game going into what, the 6th inning, I believe it was. The Yankees and the Indians there, and it's a crucial game. You got a 0-0 game, and all of a sudden, you start hearing the hecklers. In New York, heckling their own players, like "Let's go!" And all of a sudden, the place was dead for 2 hours. Guy Bird, the first baseman, comes up, hits a shot into the upper deck. Next thing you know, everybody's on their feet going nuts, and next thing you know, it was like a bomb went off in the stadium. It just erupted. So, you live for the moment, yeah. And first inning, everybody's like, okay. Second, third, fourth, we're in the stands, like, all right, what's going on? And all of a sudden, boom, here you go. And then it just took off. So when you say moments, those are the moments that people think the game's boring, but if you know the game within the game and you're seeing what's going on, the tactics, the coaching techniques, and all that kind of stuff, that's when you can really get into it.
Now, have you been into the locker room?
Absolutely.
How big is this judge?
Oh, he's huge. Is
he the biggest thing you ever saw?
Yeah. So
I was in the stands looking at him, but he is like.
They have a picture of Todd I saw the other day in one of the magazines, and Todd's like me, 6'3", maybe a little bulkier, and they have him next to him, and it looks like he's standing next to a teenage kid.
A little kid,
right?
He's
a monster. The guy's a monster, and it's funny. He had a great catch the other night in the Cleveland series. He robbed a home run. So if you have your regular guy robbing a home run, he's jumping up 2 feet trying to get into the stands and take it back. It's like he got on his tippy toes and just said, okay, let me bring it back in. So it looks like he didn't even rob it. He's that.
Now, how old is he?
I think 24, I believe, off the top of my head.
Was
24?
he good in their system?
He was good.
Before they brought him up? Because the name we always heard was Sanchez, right? We heard a lot about Sanchez.
Sanchez was good. Sanchez was better in the minor leagues than Judge.
Mm-hmm.
Judge's stats don't speak for him for what he's doing now. It's like once he put on the pinstripes, he said, let's turn it up and let's go. He had good stats, but not stats like you're seeing now. These are just off the charts.
Okay, so now we'll bypass the Indians and Yanks. We talked enough about them. We'll throw the coin who wins tonight. The Astros are in, and they will be facing.
Astros will be facing it.
Oh, they get the Yankees.
They get the winner of this game.
Then who's on the other side of that bracket?
Then the other side, you have the National League. The Cubs are still in it. God, Nationals, Diamondbacks, and
Dodgers are in.
Dodgers are the hottest team in baseball.
You think so?
Yeah, you really don't hear about them. They're on the West Coast, but it's a team to be worried about.
Do you like Kershaw?
I do. I've faced him before.
You did?
Yeah, in the minor leagues, I faced him a bunch of times.
How big was he? 6'5"?
Yeah, he's about 6'5". He's not, he doesn't look like your biggest guy in the world, but he'll throw you a pitch that starts at your head and ends up on the bottom of your feet, and you're like, all right. He makes a baseball look like a wiffle ball.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard to do.
So who are some of the other pitchers you faced?
I've faced them all. I've taken CC Sabathia deep in Major League Spring Training when I was with the Nationals.
Really?
I bring him up because he's pitching tomorrow night for the Yankees. When Steven Strasburg was the big prospect going, I was the first one in the minor leagues to hit his curveball for a base hit, and that was in AAA before he moved up. I mean, I faced a bunch of the guys. When I was in the big leagues, my first hit was off Daisuke Matsuzaka. I singled off Dave Price. I mean, I've played against them all.
Was Price fast?
Fast.
Very fast, right?
Fast.
That's his mantra.
Yeah, you see this tall, skinny guy come up, and all of a sudden, he just, boom, here it comes. And it's coming at you in 96, 97.
So now, do you think if in the old days, those pitchers like the Koufaxes and the Whitey Fords and all them, you think they would have come out of the game as easy as these guys do? They returned 6 pitchers in 4 innings?
Well, it kind of drives me nuts. I mean, they have these guys on pitch counts, and they're looking at it as if they want you to last a whole year and not get tired, and don't want you to get injured. But I see more people getting injured now than you did back in the day. I've heard stories of Nolan Ryan pitching in a doubleheader, back-to-back games, throwing 200 pitches in a day. It's just different. There's a lot of technology involved now, which adds a lot more fuel to the game. And I'm not going to say they're babying the pitchers. I just say they're looking at them as an investment with the amount of money they're paying them, and they don't want them to fall apart.
Well, look at the guy with the Mets. The Mets every year, my guys here are big Met fans. Every year, the Mets, the pitching. Harvey, what's the other guy got hurt? Syndergaard.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even pitch a game. Mm-hmm. I mean, what happens with these guys?
Those guaranteed money. We know that.
It is? He's paid,
absolutely.
right?
Oh, absolutely.
But you and I were talking before, and I think you hit it on the head. I think they do too much training.
Yeah, they do a lot of training. I mean, back in the day, let's just say they used to ice their arm, have a cocktail or whatever they used to do, and they're getting ready for the next game.
Was going for the night.
Now it's a big, they got to do the rotator cuffs. They have to get in the weight room. They have to do their, all these
circuits
and everything else, and they're trained to do it, and they're told to do it, and that's just what they do. So yeah, if their arms are getting stronger, no doubt about it. I mean, you got guys throwing 100 miles per hour more than you ever have, but on the other end, their arms are getting bigger and stronger. You can get injured a little quicker.
I don't think they were made to pitch that fast, Jeffrey. I think they were maybe to pitch only so fast, but then you need that curveball. You need what's a slider, man? I know in our day and age we didn't have a slider.
Yeah, if you curveball, you're talking 12 to 6. So if you're looking at the clock, it starts at a 12, and you try to get the break straight down to a 6. Slider's more of like we'll say more like a 3 to 9. So if you're looking at a clock, you start at the 3 and then you want it to slide. So your curveball, you're going for that up and down motion. The slider, you're going for more to slide side to side. Now curveball will break more quicker, so you'll see it better. So you actually see it out of the pitcher's hand because you want that loop. The slider comes at you straight, so then you think it's a fastball, and at the last second, it's got that little movement cutting away from you. So that's why the people are saying that the slider is more effective now, because it looks like a fastball out of his hand, and all of a sudden, at the last second, it breaks, where the curveball breaks more about 10, 15 feet more in front.
Well, that's what Mario Rivera had, right? A slider.
He had a cutter.
Cutter.
More, and it's just like a slider.
Okay.
So Mario, he would throw it and would have fastball spin, but still have a slider movement. And he still doesn't teach nobody that pitch. He won't give that secret away. Some people try it, but
he won't let him show him how to hold it with your fingers and all that?
He showed him how to hold it, but he's not showing you his arm angle and how he puts another pressure. There's a way to put more pressure on your middle finger that'll add more movement to this side of the ball that cuts it this way, vice versa the other way. There's so many little tricks.
Okay, so in the National League, my gut feeling is it's either going to be L.A. or the Cubs. Do you like the Cubs?
I agree with both of them. I like both teams. A lot of people are all about L.A., but then again, you got the Cubs coming back from a crazy season last year with experience. Experience is huge, especially in the playoffs.
What do they get, tenser in the playoffs?
It's more tense. I mean, it's more every pitch. You go to a regular season baseball game, and it's a good game. You know, you can watch. You go to a playoff game, a major league playoff game. It's like going to a football game or a hockey game. You're every pitch, you're glued. It's a feeling like no other. If there's some people that say, "Oh, baseball is boring," go to a playoff game, and that'll readjust your thoughts in 2 seconds because every pitch turns in.
Do you believe, as a everyday player, that good pitching outdoes good hitting?
Oh no, yeah, without a doubt.
Why?
Because it's pitching. As a hitter, sometimes you get lucky. What I mean by that is, on any given week, you see a guy have the player of the week. Let's just say he got the player of the week as a hitter. Most of the pitches that he's seen in that week, the pitchers are making mistakes. Making mistakes by leaving that ball up a couple inches. Instead of hitting the corner, leaving it over the plate a little more. So you're seeing good pitches to hit. And then vice versa, there can be a week that goes by where all of a sudden these pitchers, for whatever reason, have your number. So now you're hitting your corner, and every pitch is at the knees where you can't drive that baseball.
Well, Judge went through a dry spell after the All-Star break.
Yep.
What do you think it was?
It could have been the pitching. Could have been he just came off a heck of a first half and had a couple days off, and then you have to try to get back in the groove. Some people say it's the home run derby. A lot of people do think it's a curse. So? I've never thought about it like that way.
Your brother was in 2 of them.
Yeah, and
how did he come off it?
He's dropped a little bit. The one season he dropped a little bit.
Well, the thing of it is with the home run derby, don't you tend to hit the ball up rather than hit the ball out? Is that what it is?
Yeah, but you have a guy like Judge who just wants to hit the ball out every time anyway.
I mean, you think he could break the home run record?
I think he can. He's in a great stadium to do it. Let's get serious. You can put him in any stadium. He's going to do it anyway. He's that big. He's that strong. I just think, you go in funk sometimes. Sometimes I got up to the plate, especially when I was in major leagues, and you could have threw me anything in the whole 2x2 radius of the plate. Fastball, curveball, off speed, I knew I was going to hit it. Then there's other times you get up there and you're like, all right, you start thinking. You're like, all right, should I try to do this, and the next thing you know, you're in a funk. Baseball is mental. I mean, if you can't get over that mental state, it's just going to keep eating you up until you can mentally overcome it.
How about Stanton? How do you like him?
Love him. We'll see what happens with him. I know Miami's going to have a hard time.
Because I like Mattingly and Jeter. I hope they can build.
I just think it's going to be a hard time to fulfill his contract. From what I heard, Miami might have lost some money this year just because of how much he got paid.
Really?
Yeah, and you put him on a team like the Yankees, they're going to fill the seats every night.
Oh, my goodness.
You put him on a team like Miami,
you think he would come to New York?
No, I mean, he would have no choice if he got traded.
Oh, is that how they would have to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Because he has a 10-year contract, right?
Yeah, 10-year contract. Lots of money. Probably one of the best hitters in baseball. So hats off to the guy. He's a beast.
Well, he does. He hits for average RBIs, home runs.
Mm-hmm. And he's young.
My favorite player is Trout, though. What do you think of Trout?
No doubt about it. He plays the game the right way. He plays it hard. He's hard-nosed. He hits for average power. And he steals bases. People ask me, back in the day, there's 5 tools in baseball. Right? The 5 tools: you got to hit for power, you got to run, you got to throw, and you got to have speed. And they have a chart, and basically on the chart, let's just say it's 1 to 5. Trout's all 5, and you can't find another player in baseball like that. You can't.
Really? What? Like how many of those qualities does your brother have?
Well, let's just say he can hit. He can hit for power. His speed is okay.
He's good glove.
Great glove, great fielding, great arm. So I would give him, don't get mad at me, Todd. I'd probably give him about around a 4, 3.5, 4. Because average has been slumping a little bit, but his power numbers are catching up with it. But I mean, you can go throughout the whole Major League Baseball and try to find somebody that's a 5-tool player. I can only think of one.
Trout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if you knew the old days, but did you ever see Mickey Mantle play?
Seen video. Heard stories.
Fast, man. Fast. Willie Mays. I think those guys were 5s.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, you're talking guys like that. Guys that can hit the ball over the fence, and then all of a sudden they're on first base and they can steal second whenever they want. It's hard to find that.
Now, do you think that Sanchez needs some improvement? I think there's something with his catching. What about his catching?
That's what everybody says. There are a couple balls that have gotten by him. But to his extent, he's young. Don't get me wrong, and he's also he's also catching a pitching staff that probably averaging about 95 to 100 miles per hour. So, hats off to him. He does get criticized for that a lot.
Well, he gets.
I was never a catcher.
The low ball gets by him, but I don't know either. But it seems that I would just think you would drop down with your legs, wouldn't you? To block it or
drop
no?
down as low as you can, protect your jewels, and put the glove there and, block it.
Right.
I'm not a catcher, but that's what I would think.
Right. I would just, in the old days, I always thought they put the knee down. It would hit the shin guard,
Yeah, they have all that
hit the
protection.
shin guard and move it on that. So now Cleveland is playing Todd's team tonight for the all-out game. And you've been to the first 2 games?
I've been in the second 2. The first 2 were in Cleveland.
You went to the second 2?
I went to the second 2 in New York.
What was the attitude?
Attitude was awesome. Attitude was awesome. Attitude was great.
The guys are going in happy tonight.
Oh, they're going tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. Yeah,
but
tomorrow night they're
hungry,
going.
Hungry, but on the joyous side.
On the joyous side, but knowing their backs are against the wall. Both teams are. You win, you're in. But it's good to go back on a winning note now that they're going back over there knowing they won the last 2. And, yeah, they do have the advantage, I think, in that aspect. But, again, they're playing on the road against Kluber, who's a Cy Young winner. So it's going to be a tough battle.
Well, that's what Dino said. Is he going to win it this year or he did win it? Kluber has won
I believe
a
he
Cy
did
Young?
win it this year. Yep.
Oh, he has won.
Mm-hmm.
So now here's the deal. He's had a good game, Kluber, and a bad game. Usually with pitchers, how does that work out, your third round?
Third round around, he's probably going to have a really not a really good game. He's probably going to be on point, especially with the crowd behind him, especially because it's going to be the only game on TV, especially when I said before, every pitch counts. So he's going to bear down with everything he's got. He's going to pitch the way he did all year. Same thing with CC Sabathia. And strap it on. I mean, put your seatbelts on because it's gonna be a ride. It's gonna be a heck of a game. And I'm actually going, so I'm excited.
Oh, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. So you're flying out the family like you're always doing.
Yeah, believe it or not, Todd splurged a little bit. Got an eight-seat jet that we're leaving tomorrow.
Really?
From an airport. It's gonna be an hour drive to the stadium, and after the game we're flying back. So let's hope that flight is enjoyable.
It'll be a happy time.
Let's go, baby.
Another
Let's
good
go.
Frazier. How was it like when you guys did the home run derby? Was that cool?
It's awesome. Oh, especially the one in Cincinnati. The one in Cincinnati that you won. I got my hairs are standing up right now. You got 60,000 people, chanting "Let's go Frazier." It's
really?
It's usually "Let's
Were
go
you the
Yankees."
pitcher or the coach?
I was the coach.
You were the coach.
Yeah, he kept hitting the ball to center field. I said, "Listen, it's 400 feet to center. It's 330 to left. How about we pull the ball over?"
Over there, right?
Yeah,
Todd,
70
forget
feet
that.
that way. All right, let's just do that.
That way.
Come on.
So now, did Charlie have a chance to pitch with him a lot before this, or no?
Yeah, I mean, we've always done our lessons and stuff like that. So we always pitched. I pitched to him. Charlie pitched to him in the off season just to get him ready for the season. So I mean, they're ready. It's nothing they haven't done before, and it was fun. What an experience.
I always ask my guys now if, great show, Jeff. You're really on target. Give me some gut feeling of you. Who do you think the last 2 teams are going to be? Your gut feeling. You don't.
Cubs, Yankees.
Really?
Cubs, Yankees.
You got the Cubs beating the Dodgers?
I do. We're now go back to what I said before about that experience.
Really?
Playoff experience. World Series experience. Let's go with that. They broke that curse.
Oh, yeah.
Flying high. I love Madden. Madden's a great manager. It seems like he has that ball club. Every ball club he has, they're together. They're tight.
Do you like Bryant?
Absolutely.
Bryant's the third baseman. Mm-hmm. Rizzo, good.
Got Rizzo.
Young, good player.
You got power, you got speed, and they got pitching. With that combination, you never know what's going to happen. So, again, the Yankees, I hope they, wish them the best in the World Series and everything, but they got to focus on one thing only, and that's tomorrow night.
And I think, my gut feeling tells me they're going to win tomorrow, because you say they're in a good feeling mood, and you know how much that matters in sports. People don't understand that either. You can't, you have some teams that go in and they always got like a monkey on their back, and you don't go into the game confident. You got to go in happy. You got to go in ready. It's part of being hungry. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's all about confidence in this sport too. And you played basketball back in the day. If you're feeling right, you get that ball, you're like, watch me hit this three. Boom, it's in. It's the same thing as a team. You go in there with confidence, which they have. The players are going to be together. The hitters are going to be a part of each other. They're going to go. The defense is going to be ready in case they put the ball in play, and it's a confidence thing. It's you're coming off of 2 wins. You're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling good about that next game. Where this other team, the Indians, are coming off of 2 straight losses with not a lot of hitting going on in their lineup. Their confidence is not as high as the Yankees right now.
Now, what were they doing when they won 22 in a row, man?
Crazy. So
in baseball?
Hats off. I've never seen anything like that, let alone
That's
in high school sports.
Crazy.
And it's now you're talking professional.
I mean, baseball's different, because
Mm-hmm.
every 4th day you could get the ace pitcher.
Yeah.
And it's like, forget it. It's lights out.
Yeah.
You think Joe Torre had a tough job every 4th day? Who was pitching? The guy that came in from Toronto and won all them, Clemens. You got Clemens. You think he's worrying?
Yeah.
You think he's worrying when Nolan Ryan's pitching? Him and the guy on the bench are having coffee. You know what I mean? Nine innings, they go home. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
All right, so now I got you down to the final thing. You picked the Yankees, because we're going to shut up. And Yankees and Cubs, and give me a winner.
Well, I'm going with the Yanks.
All right.
Going with the Yanks. My first year ever being a Yankee fan. So let's
Is
go
that
with
right?
Yankees.
Who were you before that?
I've always been a Met fan.
Really?
But I'm
Another
not gonna
Met
lie.
fan. Another
I'm not going to lie. I purchased my first Yankee hat. I took it off the shelf. I started shaking. I was like, I got to put it on my head.
Oh, my God. All you Met fans. Great job,
Yeah,
Jeff.
absolutely.
Gonna have
Thank
you
you so
back
much.
again.
Appreciate it.
And good luck to Todd tonight. And remember, kids, just don't watch a game on television or watch it in the stands. Get out and participate and stay off the alcohol and drugs. And especially in this county, stay off of heroin. Nick the Quick signing off. See you real soon.